National Hispanic Heritage Month. September 15th to October 15th is National Hispanic American Heritage Month. The Library of Congress, National Archives and Records Administration, National Endowment for the Humanities, National Gallery of Art, National Paint. Okay, so that was just a picture apparently that goes with this. It's a mural for. The observation began in 1968 as Hispanic Heritage Week under President Lyndon Johnson and was expanded by President Ronald Reagan in 1988 to cover a 30-day period. It was enacted into law on August 17, 1988. Since then, the month has been celebrated nationwide through festivals, art shows, conferences, community gatherings, and much more. The month also celebrates the Independence Days of several Latin American countries, including Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua on September 15th, Mexico on September 16th, and Chile on September 18th. They also include holidays that recognize Hispanic contributions, such as Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico Friendship Day, that is celebrated in the U.S. Virgin Islands. The terms Hispanic and Latino/Latina are often used interchangeably. They have different meanings that are often the subject of debate. It is generally accepted that Hispanic refers to people with a Spanish-speaking background. Latino, on the other hand, refers to those from the geographic region of Latin America. This includes much of Central and South America, as well as the Caribbean. Although there is much overlap between the two terms, those from countries like Brazil may identify as Latino but not Hispanic. In recent years, the word Latinx has gained traction as a gender-neutral alternative to Latino or Latina. Hispanic Americans and Latino Americans make up more than 18% of the U.S. population. Over 57 million Hispanics and Latinos are living in the U.S. In fact, the United States has the largest Spanish-speaking population than many Hispanic countries, including Peru and Venezuela. Texas and Florida have a Hispanic and Latino American population of about 10 million and 4 million respectively. New York also has a large population of Hispanic and Latino Americans with over 3 million. These states, as well as many other cities in the U.S., have a very vibrant Hispanic and Latino American community. Cultural influence. Hispanic and Latin Americans come from diverse social, economic, and geographic backgrounds. They can be very different depending on their family heritage and national origin. However, there are some cultural similarities that tend to bring these diverse backgrounds together. Language. One of the most common cultural characteristics of Hispanic American culture is the Spanish language. In 1980, there were roughly 11 million Spanish speakers in the U.S. This represents 5% of the population, according to the Pew Research Center. By 2012, the number of Spanish-speaking increased to over 38 million, representing 13% of the U.S. population. Hispanic families often teach their children Spanish as a way of passing down their heritage and culture. This emphasis on being bilingual has helped revive the Spanish language in the U.S. Religion plays an important role in Hispanic and Latin American culture. Hispanic and Latin Americans represent a highly Christian group. Although Americans in general have gained an increasingly secular view of society in the past few decades, a study conducted by the Hispanic Churches and American Public Life reports that the majority of Hispanic and Latin Americans identify as Catholic or Protestant. Cuisine. Hispanic and Latin American cuisine are very popular in the U.S. They have had significant influence on American cuisine and eating habits, most notably Mexican food and its Americanized cousin Tex-Mex, have long been culinary staples in American society. Some of the typical items in Mexican cuisine include cornbread dishes such as tortillas, tamales, and tacos, and various salsas and condiments such as guacamole, pico de gallo, and more. Tortilla chips and salsa are so popular that they are now one of the highest selling snack foods in the US. In most recent years, other Latin American food varieties have gained popularity in the US. Brazilian chucacaras, with their all-you-can-eat rodillo service, have become mainstream in many urban areas. Colombian apiras stands are often present at street fairs. Ceviche, which is thought to have originated in Peru, is considered a delicacy by many Americans. Of course, the very diverse list goes on and is often influenced by the makeup of an area's Latin American population. Family. Hispanic and Latin American culture places a strong value on family. Historically, Hispanics and Latin Americans tend to have large, close-knit families. It is not uncommon for 3 generations to live in the same household or nearby each other, with grandparents playing an important role in their grandchildren's upbringing. Although such living situations have become less common, the emphasis on the well-being of the family often makes Hispanic and Latin Americans very group-oriented, with family gatherings being commonplace. Media and entertainment. The U.S. has many Spanish-language media outlets, ranging from giant commercial broadcasting networks to local radio stations. The 2 largest broadcasting networks are Univision and Telemundo, which provide Spanish-language television to the majority of the U.S. The availability of Spanish-language television made it possible for Hispanics and Latin Americans to follow the sport of soccer in the U.S. at a time when English-language media outlets were not broadcasting the matches. This increased visibility has greatly influenced the growth in popularity of soccer in the U.S. Hispanic and Latin Americans have had a huge influence on music in the United States. In the 20th century, for example, Brazilian and Afro-Caribbean rhythms helped shape the sounds of the uniquely American genre of jazz. In 1986, Billboard magazines introduced the Hot Latin Songs chart, which ranks the best performing songs on Spanish-language radio stations in the U.S. In 1993, they introduced the Top Latin American Albums charts, which ranks the top-selling American Latin albums in the U.S. The Record Industry Association of America became Los Premios de Oro Platino, meaning the Gold and Platinum Awards, to certify Latin records that contained at least 50% of its content recorded in Spanish. Numerous Hispanic and Latin American musicians have achieved international fame, such as Jennifer Lopez, late Tejano singer Selena, and Puerto Rican heartthrob Ricky Martin. In recent years, the reggaeton genre has taken American airways by storm, with artists like Bad Bunny, J Balvin, and Maluma crossing over into mainstream American music. Similarly, Brazilian pop artists like Anitta and drag superstar Pablo Vittar are making their mark on the U.S. music scene.